I have 4 American Express credit cards, but I only pay for 1 annual fee. So today I'm going to show you how this setup helps me streamline my personal and business finances and show you how you can do the exact same thing. All right, let's jump right into it. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So I've made a number of videos on different American Express credit cards, and a ton of you have asked how and why I have 4 American Express Gold cards without paying 4 different annual fees. And I actually do this by exploiting a bit of a loophole that I discovered that definitely falls into a gray area. So I am going to walk you through exactly how to set this up, but I want to be clear that while American Express does not explicitly say that this is not allowed, I have a feeling that they wouldn't exactly approve of this setup. But I will say that when I did set up this credit card system with American Express, I did talk to an actual representative on the phone, explained exactly what I was trying to do, and they did not try to stop me and were actually very happy to help me set this up. So your experience might be a little bit different than my own, and this whole thing might work a little bit differently for different credit cards, because again, there's not a whole lot of information on the internet about this, and I am solely going off of my experience of having 4 American Express Gold cards for the price of 1. All right, I don't want to make you wait any longer. The way that I do this is really simple, and that's by using what's called an authorized user. You're probably familiar with what an authorized user is, but essentially, this is just an additional card holder on your existing credit card accounts, and this is frequently used for maybe adding a child to your account, or maybe adding a spouse or an employee or something like that. And this is definitely not unique to American Express. Pretty much every major credit card provider is going to allow you to add an authorized user. However, they are not all created equal, and we'll get more into that in a second. Before that though, I know that a lot of you are probably wondering why jump through all of these loopholes and set up an authorized user rather than just getting a separate business credit card. Well, typically, let's say you're adding a child. Well, that child isn't able to open a credit card on their own, or maybe you're adding an employee as an authorized user, and you want them to be able to make purchases on the business card without you having to constantly pay them back for those purchases. But in my case, I use this authorized user loophole because I'm really cheap. Let me explain. As I've talked about many times before, I run this YouTube channel as a business, and as a result, it is really important that I keep my personal and business finances separate from each other. This channel is registered as Magnified Money LLC, meaning I could just take my EIN, also known as an employer identification number, which is basically a social security number for a business, and use that to apply for a business credit card. And that is something that I will and probably should do in the future, just to even further separate my business and personal finances. But what I actually have set up right now is I've made Magnified Money LLC an authorized user on my personal American Express account. Again, I want to say that this definitely falls into a bit of a gray area, but the person who helped me add Magnified Money as an authorized user admitted to me on the phone that this was, quote, a great idea, and they had never thought of this before, so I guess it's kind of a don't ask, don't tell sort of thing. But the reason that I do this specifically with my American Express Gold card is that the Amex Gold is $250 per year, and actually the business version is currently $295 per year. Meaning if I wanted to have the personal American Express Gold card and the business American Express Gold card, I'd be looking at nearly $600 per year, which to me is just not worth it. But the great part about specifically the Gold card is that they charge you nothing in order to add an authorized user to this account, which makes it the perfect product to pull off this setup with. For example, if you wanted to add an authorized user to the American Express Platinum card, you'd be looking at $175 per year for each additional user, on top of the already $695 per year that this particular product currently costs. Now, obviously, by doing this, you are going to miss out on any kind of sign-up bonus that you would get from getting an entirely separate credit card for your business, and in my case specifically, the personal Gold card and the business Gold card do have slightly different benefits, but for the most part, I'd really be double dipping across the board, which again is completely pointless. So before you try to pull off something like this, definitely check first what all the differences are between the personal and business version of whatever card it is that you were looking at getting. And secondly, make sure that that particular card does not charge some ridiculous fee for adding an authorized user. Since the point of doing this, at least in my case, is to save myself from having to pay another annual fee for what is essentially the exact same credit card with very very similar benefits. One last thing I do want to answer before we get into exactly how to set this up. I'm not sure how this works with other credit card companies, but I will say that with American Express specifically, they do a wonderful job of separating my personal and business expenses, even though all of these cards are tied back to one American Express account. So I have showed this in previous videos, but if you hop into the American Express app, you can see that it automatically separates my personal expenses from my Magnified Money LLC expenses. And what I do from here is I have my personal SoFi checking account, as well as my Novo business banking account, both linked to the American Express app. And once charges are posted to my account, I then pay off the business charges with my Novo account and my personal charges with my SoFi account. And that way everything is clean and separated, and I don't really have to go through a statement and figure out what was business or personal. American Express does all of that heavy lifting for me. But it is really important that you ensure that you are making those payments out of the appropriate accounts in order to truly keep those finances separate. Well, like I said, I have found that this works best and you get the biggest benefit by doing this with specifically the American Express Gold Card. So if you do want to sign up for the Gold Card and get a pretty hefty sign-up bonus and help support my channel, which I really appreciate, then I will leave a link down in the description below where you can sign up. But regardless of which credit card you were looking at getting, whether that's American Express or something entirely different, obviously the very first thing that you want to do is go ahead and sign up for the regular personal version as you would with getting any new credit card. Then once you've done that and your account is approved, you'll then want to add an authorized user to your account, whether that is a spouse, a child, or as we're talking about in today's video, your small business. I want to be clear that a small business does not mean that you have to be registered as an LLC or an S-Corp or anything like that. If you just have a side hustle that you run as a sole proprietorship, then when you add an authorized user to this card and they're going to ask you for your social security number or EIN number, all you have to do is put in your own social security number because you are the sole owner of your sole proprietorship. I hope that made sense, but let's walk through the process to show you how this works because I promise it is really easy and literally takes like 30 seconds. So once you get your American Express card, you'll want to log into the American Express website, select Account Services at the top of the screen, and then click Manage Additional Card Members in the bottom left-hand corner. From this menu, you're able to see any additional card members that you already have, and again, you can see that in my case, I already have Magnified Money LLC set up as an authorized user. But if you currently don't have any authorized users or you'd like to add a new one, you're going to click the large blue button in the top right-hand corner that says Add Someone to Account. Then from here, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to input the individual's information, including their social security number, and then click Agree and Submit at the bottom of the screen. Now, a few things that I do want to point out. Number one, all authorized users do have to be at least 13 years old, so that is something that you want to keep in mind. And number two, in the context of today's video at least, you can see that with American Express, you are not able to put in any kind of EIN, again, because I have a feeling that American Express wouldn't exactly be a fan of this particular setup. So even though it is optional, what I personally did is put in my own social security number as I described earlier, and under name, I just put Magnified Money LLC. And literally within a matter of minutes, I received an email saying that my new card was on the way, and once that arrived, I just simply activated it, and now I use the business version, which is the Magnified Money one, for my business purchases, and I use the standard card for my personal purchases, and then again, I just pay them off as I described earlier in the video. And as some of you have pointed out previously who pay really close attention, I actually have my personal card in the standard gold color and the Magnified Money version in the rose gold color, which I think looks really cool, and this again is just a quick and easy way for me to make sure that I don't get these two cards mixed up in my wallet and ensure that I'm keeping everything clean and separate. And the reason I have 4 gold cards in total is actually just because when I requested the rose gold color, they actually just sent me 2, one for my personal and one for Magnified Money. So the 2 were actually just props and they aren't even activated, but I do use these 2 every day to make those business and personal purchases. But again, you could add multiple authorized users to your account for multiple small businesses or whatever you need them for, because with the gold card, it's completely free. The The last thing I do want to mention is that obviously, since you're not putting in an EIN for your business, you are not going to build business credit. Not that big of a deal in my case, but if you are a slightly larger business who maybe needs to apply for a loan in the future, then that is definitely something that you want to consider. So I get that this setup is a little bit unconventional, and I'm sure that some of you have some pretty heated opinions about this, so I'd love to hear about that down in the comment section below, and whether you think this is a genius, fantastic idea or a horrible idea and why. Again, it's not really something that is widely talked about on the internet and for sure falls into a gray area, so while it does work for me, at least for the time being, I would love to know your thoughts on it as well. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, the easiest way to do that is actually by checking out some of my favorite financial tools down in the description below, including one offer from the Point Cashback debit card that will currently give you $100 when you open your account and make your first purchase, so definitely check that out using the link down below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future, and of course, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.